Welcome back to the Quantum Realm, Scott. I've been waiting a long time for this.
What? Is someone in there?
Oh, yes. A destiny you cannot escape.
Darren?
Surprised to see me.
Award season is in full swing. Oscar nominations came out and caused an uproar with their snubs of Barbie and Greta Gerwig. But another awards show released their nominations, and it's been quietly causing controversy of its own. I'm talking, of course, about the Razzies, the yearly awards for the worst of everything. But why are the Razzies causing such a ruckus? And were the nominations justified? Join me, dear viewer, as I dive back into the dumpster fire that is Disney's Marvel. It's no surprise that by now we all know that Marvel Studios is in shambles. After losing an obscene amount of money last year on not one but two major flops, the financial loss is in the hundreds of millions of dollars. So it should come as no surprise that someone other than those of us in the YouTube community would call out Disney and Marvel Studios for all of this. After 16 years, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania has become the first Marvel Cinematic Universe project to receive a Razzie Awards nomination. The Golden Raspberry Awards, commonly known as the Razzies, honor the worst movies of the year. While there have been some bad MCU movies, no Marvel Studios film had ever been nominated for a Razzie, but that has finally changed. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Marvel Studios received not only its first nod, but also multiple nominations at the 2024 Razzie Awards. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was nominated for Worst Supporting Actor, Worst Director, and Worst Prequel, Remake, Ripoff, or Sequel. In the Worst Supporting Actor category, Quantumania's cast received 2 nominations for Michael Douglas and Bill Murray's performances as Hank Pym and Krylar, respectively. Ever since the end of the Infinity Saga, Marvel has been plagued with god-awful movies, lack of coherent storylines, terrible third-rate characters, and insertion of the message into nearly every piece of content that they've put out. That's right, they're no longer creating cinema, they're simply mass-producing content. And you as the audience need to sit there, swallow anything they give you, and don't ask questions. Some of these movies have been absolute box office bombs, but one of them stands out as the beginning of the end. One of the projects that has faltered was Quantumania. Originally expected to be the highest grossing entry in Paul Rudd's MCU franchise, the movie ended up underperforming severely, becoming the lowest grossing Ant-Man film instead. One of the major issues with the film was its complete lack of coherent narrative and character development. It was also a bait and switch, making Cassie, not Ant-Man, the primary protagonist and all-around kick-ass girl boss. This insertion of vapid and empty toxic feminism kept audiences away from theaters, and the CGI was also abysmal. Case in point, MODOK. Ant-Man and the Wasp in Quantumania was also responsible for introducing the Multiverse Saga's main villain, Kang the Conqueror. While Kang was menacing, the villain was beaten too easily in the movie and seemingly killed in his first MCU appearance, which led to fan backlash. Understandably, if you're going to try to introduce a major villain to bookend your phase, at least make him unbeatable in this iteration. The addition of Kang in all the Disney Plus shows really diluted the character to the point that he became bland. His appearances in Loki made him out to look like a complete moron. Jonathan Majors' weird interpretation of the character also didn't do Kang any justice. While fans are well aware that the Razzie Awards are no bright light in the film industry, it is still disappointing to see Marvel Studios' name brought up in this conversation. We in the YouTube community have been saying this for years now, ever since the original Captain Marvel movie came out. Yet, no one listened. Now, after 2 of the studio's 3 movies flopped financially and critically in 2023, the MCU hopes to win back some favor by making some big changes behind the scenes. But is it too little too late? This will manifest partially with the fact that only 1 Marvel movie will be released in 2024. Deadpool 3 is already building plenty of excitement as the franchise's first ever R-rated theatrical release. And with bigger movies like Avengers: Secret Wars having their release dates pushed back, it has become clear that Marvel Studios is desperately scrambling to save the Titanic after it's already hit the iceberg. I'm not really sure if Marvel realizes what's happening to their brand. South Park correctly called out issues in Disney's Star Wars franchise, as well as its adherence to woke ideology. But the South Park special didn't go far enough in calling out what's been going on at Marvel. The insertion of woke ideology in the way of toxic feminism has been one of the many things plaguing the MCU since the Infinity Saga. But as I've mentioned many times before, it's also the complete lack of planning on the part of Kevin Feige. Bob Iger's dismal leadership didn't really help matters either. When Bob Chapek started to clean out the company of its woke activists, many cried foul. Bob Iger stepped back in and unceremoniously fired Chapek, only to maintain status quo and keep all the activists gainfully employed. But calls have been growing for Bob Iger's ouster. But change takes time, and it'll take a while for Nelson Peltz to arrange all his pieces on the chessboard and strike. It's truly pathetic to think what's become of the once thriving Marvel Cinematic Universe. How the mighty have fallen. As with all things in Hollywood, everything comes in waves. Each decade brings us new trends and fads, and this fad is pretty much over. Perhaps one day it'll come back, but for now, it seems that the Hollywood vultures are onto their next targets. Video game adaptations. But what do you guys think of all this? Do you think that Ant-Man's Razzie nominations were justified? Please do let me know down below in the comments, and as always, hit that like button, ring that notification bell, and smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.